Hello, everyone. This is Jeana at Art of Skincare. Happy Tuesday. So fun to be with you guys today. So today I wanted to dive into hyperpigmentation a bit more because wintertime is the time when you want to tackle those really stubborn dark spots and work on them. And it came to my mind this week because I started noticing a new dark spots that I didn't have last winter. So, as many of you know, I've been really increasing my exfoliation. I've doubled up on the retinol that I'm using at nighttime. I'm using my dermadisc and enzymes to create a lot of exfoliation and remove a lot of dead, dull, dry skin cells. And I'm really liking how firm my skin is looking, how glowy, and it's really getting very light. And what happens as your skin, as you start lifting off that old dark pigmentation, what starts to happen is you begin to notice some areas where you have your problem spots. Now, sometimes when I'm working with a client at this stage, they'll reach out to me and say, I'm getting new dark spots. They're getting worse. And what I have to tell them, and what I have to notice even on myself, is that they look worse, but they're not worse, because the first pigmentation that we're going to be able to lift everywhere is the pigmentation that's not so stubborn. So all over my skin is pretty much a shade lighter than it was during the summer. It's nice and light and glowy, but as we lift off that easier pigmentation, those more stubborn spots start to show up, and we see them now. So just this week, I'm starting to see where I have this little darker area right here that I didn't have last winter that I picked up this summer, because that's what happens as we age. We get more and more susceptible to dark pigmentation. And so I've added this new little spot here. Normally, I get these dark little spots over in this area. And so I do still have those. And I'm used to seeing those showing up at this time of year, but this one was a new one. So I want to talk about what will I do to combat that, to work on those extra darker spots that are just a little more stubborn now that I've lifted off the bulk of that dry, dull, dark, dehydrated skin, those damaged cells that we've exfoliated off from the summertime. Now I've got to deal with some little problem areas. And so I want to tell you, the first thing that I do is reach out and I grab my Natural Mega Brightening Serum. But the reason I reach out for that, the ingredient that I love is Bellis perennis. And I've actually been using Bellis perennis in my routine all through the fall. And it's part of what's really helping to lighten my skin. And that's because I'm going to show you today that we have several different products that have Bellis perennis in it. Now, Bellis perennis is a strength of a 2 to 3% hydroquinone, but it doesn't have any of those adverse side effects. But like hydroquinone, we cycle on and off of it. So I started in the fall adding in lifting complex from Nelly DeVos. I've talked to you guys about that. I love this product because it's got that vitamin C in it that I love, and it also has Bellis perennis in it. When you combine those two together, super brightening. Then we've got some just great ingredients that help to lift and firm the skin as well as brighten the skin when we're using this lifting complex. So I've been using my lifting complex, been using my retinols, doing my microdermabrasion with my dermadisc and some enzymes. Everything's lightening up really nicely, but now I'm starting to see those little dark spots. So I'm going to add to what I've been doing. And the first thing I did this week was reach out for Natural Mega Brightening Serum from Rhonda Ellison. And so what I'm doing is, and I saw a difference within 24 hours of doing this. I've started putting a little bit of this just on the dark spots in the evening before I put on my other products, before I put on my retinol serum or my Emapel night cream. I'm putting on some of this Natural Mega Brightening Serum just on the problem spots. So I'm giving some extra attention to those problem areas. Now, there's many several products that I have with Bellis perennis that really help to lighten and brighten the skin. And I kind of want to go through those because you could choose one of those that might work best for your skin. In my notes today, in the description, there's a link that takes you to the products on my website at Art of Skincare that have Bellis perennis in it. So you can choose from eye creams, lotions, serums, oils, the thing that works best for you. I think we have about 8 different products, masks, that have the Bellis perennis in it. And you can kind of hand pick from there what you think might work best for your skin. So to start with, I wanted to mention Hale and Hush's eye mousse. I'm also going to be doing today, so stick with us. I'm also going to be doing a little hand treatment and showing you how to treat those dark spots on the hands. And it also is very applicable to dark spots anywhere on the body. But before we get there, let's touch base on, got a little siren going, Hale and Hush eye mousse. Hale and Hush Eye Mousse has that Bellis perennis in it, and it's great for those people. Everyone loves this eye mousse for many reasons, but it's particularly good for anyone who tends to get dark pigmentation around the eyes. Now, we can get dark circles under the eyes just from the blood underneath the eyes, kind of that bruising look. And this will help that as well. But what this really targets is when you actually have dark pigmentation on the skin around the eye area. The Bellis perennis in this is going to go after that area. How about for the hands? I'm going to be showing you guys a hand treatment today, but I wanted to draw attention to this. This is phytoendorphin hand cream from Rhonda Ellison. One of the top ingredients right up there at the top, Bellis perennis, because it's going to really help to lighten and brighten those dark spots that we can get on the hands. From Nelly DeVos, we have 2 products with Bellis perennis in it. We have the lifting complex that also has the vitamin C. Love this stuff. But I also love the radiance oil. If you're one of those people that likes oils on your skin, then you may like to try the radiance oil. That has a nice strong dose of Bellis perennis in it. From Rhonda Ellison, we get probably the most potent of the Bellis perennis products. We have a brightening pigment tonic. This is a toner to use on the skin. It also has ingredients that help with lightening post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and help prevent breakouts. It's very gentle, but it has that high dose of Bellis perennis in it to really brighten the skin. You can use that once or twice a day. I've been known to be out in the sun for the day doing things and then to come home and just spray this right onto my skin because it's really going to help inhibit that dark pigmentation that can form when you're out in the sunshine. So another great product from Rhonda Ellison with Bellis perennis is her brightening scrub. And I'm going to show you how to use this in a special way today. We're going to take this scrub to that next level, from just being a consumer level of education to actually understanding in the mind of an esthetician how to use this and really boost the effectiveness of it. So brightening pigment scrub. The scrub can be mixed with your daily cleanser in the morning, or it can just be used straight on the skin. And we'll talk some more about that. Another great product with Bellis perennis, Rhonda Ellison's Brightening Cream Enhanced. And so when I'm in a hurry, I love this as a night cream. Or if I want to take a little break from my retinol, I'll just put this on my face. I love the scent of it. It's a little stronger scent. It has a lot of licorice in it. It smells like when you go to the acupuncturist. It smells like Chinese herbs. So it's an interesting scent. If you're very scent sensitive, it might not be that product for you, but I'm known to use this face, neck, on my arms and my hands, even at nighttime, to just brighten up that pigmentation that I just collect like crazy on my skin. And then that powerhouse from Rhonda Ellison is that Natural Mega Brightening Serum. And this I like to use as a spot treatment at the beginning of fall. When I'm first going after the hyperpigmentation, I might use this all over just to get that initial lifting started. But then I tend to home in and use it more as a spot treatment for those really tricky little dark spots that take a bit to fade. Oh, one more thing. I have these from Orgate. These are wonderful. These are vitamin C and Bellis perennis sheet masks. And these are quite lovely, very brightening. When you take them off, you immediately see that the skin looks brighter and plumper. It's really a nice set of sheet masks. You get 4 masks in a box. So I thought it would be fun to show you guys a little bit of a hand treatment. I've had a few times you guys have asked me now about treating the hands. And so I thought I would integrate this treating dark spots in with treating the hands as well. And I have a trio that I like to use on my hands and my forearms, and I'm going to show you that today. So the first step in this trio is the brightening scrub. With brightening scrub, I like to first use it on dry skin. So I'm going to show you on the back of my hand. I first massage this, and when I'm treating my arms and my hands or even my face, I'm massaging it all over, and I'm massaging it in on dry skin at first. And I just keep massaging until all the moisture has come out of the scrub. And I'm being gentle, but it's a nice granular scrub. It's pretty active. But I really want to get all that Bellis perennis, arbutin, licorice root, all those nice lightening ingredients into the skin. So I'm going to just take some time and really allow it to absorb. Now, once I've done that and it's pretty dry now, I'm going to go ahead and get it wet. So then I add water to it and I foam it up. And so I'm using very light pressure with my hands. I'm not grinding it in, but I'm using a little friction, and I'm buffing it and giving it a nice foaminess. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm probably not on here very well. But that's step 2, is getting it nice and wet and massaging it again. Now, something that you can do is if you have at home, if you have the Dermadisc at home, or if you have a skin flower at home, I love to use the skin flower with this scrub. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to put it on sonic, and then I'm going to push the button to red to make it high, add a little bit more water to this, and I can actually use my skin flower to exfoliate and lift off dead skin cells and the scrub from my skin. And it works really well. You can see it's just sending up its spray, lifting off dead skin cells. I have a really stubborn hyperpigmentation spot right on the inside. Let me turn it so you guys can see it right there. I'm going to go over that spot. I think that's an old injury. I'm always hurting myself. I tangled with a rose bush this weekend putting up Christmas lights, so I have some little abrasions on my arm. And so I just go over with the skin flower and lifting that off. Now I could do that all the way up my arms. I'll just get my arm wet, and I can use, I love this device. See that little lifting off? Just lifting off dead skin cells so that my skin can be brighter, healthier, and not stagnant. Okay, I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to rinse the scrub off. So step 1 in removing hyperpigmentation is increasing your exfoliation. So we just did that using the brightening scrub from Rhonda Ellison, and then boosted it by using the MBK skin flower. So now that skin is just really nice. It's already looking lighter and it's so soft, beautiful. Now my next step is to get some really good nutrients down in there, and that Bellis perennis right down into the skin. So I've got my Natural Mega Brightening Serum. I'm going to put that on, and I'm actually got plenty of it. I'm enough to treat my whole arm here. And I'm going to use the skin flower again, push my power. This time I'm going to push ion so that ion is blue, and then I'm going to push low high so that my high is red. And I'm going to turn it over the other way, and this time I am just laying the serum down into the skin. So I'm using the sonic vibrations to actually press the serum down into the skin to get a deeper penetration and more brightening. If the skin starts to get a little too dry, just moisten it. I'm going to moisten with a little bit of Neogenesis moisturizing mist. That way my skin also gets those stem cell cytokines that are so great for healing. It will also help with repairing damaged cells that are producing too much melanin, making those dark spots. Getting a nice hand facial. The other hand's going to really need it next. Okay, I'm going to turn that off. And now I'm grabbing Rhonda Allison's Phytoendorphin hand cream, or I could grab the Brightening Cream Enhanced. Either one of these will be a great finishing step after doing my serum. Serum well worked in. I love this Phytoendorphin hand cream. Actually stimulates your endorphins, so we call it the happy cream. And it's that anti-aging cream for the body, for the hands, the body. Just makes your skin really dewy, plump, soft, and well cared for. The Bellis perennis is up in the top few ingredients, so you know it's at a really high concentration in there, which is really nice. And there we go. Kind of see the difference. Side is brighter, fresher. I'm going to work on getting rid of this little dark spot that wanted to creep up. So the next thing to talk about, of course, anytime we talk about hyperpigmentation, is sun. So in the wintertime, we tend not to want to use our sunscreen as much. We feel like we're not outdoors as much. It's cloudy. But let me tell you, the sun is still there. If you can see your hand in front of your face, there's enough light, there's enough sunshine that you need to be protecting yourself. So grab a natural sunscreen, non-chemical, and use that on your hands and your face every single day. I keep a sunscreen in the pocket of my car, and before I drive, I put that sunscreen on my hands every time. Makes a really big difference. Really helps to protect your skin, not only from dark spots, but from loss of collagen, because when you're exposed to the sun creates an enzyme reaction in the skin where the skin actually produces an enzyme called collagenase. That is an enzyme that eats collagen. So the sun will actually attack, your skin does it, but the sun will encourage your skin to attack that collagen. So you're going to have thinner skin and dark spots. So not good. So use that sunscreen religiously, even in the wintertime. Get it on there. You're going to protect your collagen and you're going to protect from hyperpigmentation. One of the most important things that we can do to keep our skin young and healthy is keep the density in the skin. And the way we do that is by protecting the skin from environmental damage. And then we go after it as well from some other directions as well. So if you are menopausal, you know, we're going after it with the Emapel, using the MEP to stimulate the estrogen sites, receptors in the skin, so that your skin keeps producing that collagen that it did when it was younger. Okay, so we've hit on some hyperpigmentation, how to treat those stubborn spots by adding some Bellis perennis into your routine, and including some exfoliation, boosting your exfoliation with a brightening scrub. Is there any questions? Let's open it up and see if we have some questions from you guys today. It's such a big topic that a lot of people deal with. Oh, no questions. No questions today. Unless I'm just missing them. Do you see any questions on your end? No. Somebody say hi so we know it's working. Tell us that you're here. And let me know, are you dealing with any stubborn hyperpigmentation? Lauren and Mahalia are saying hi. Do you have any stubborn spots? Another area I could talk about is the neck. A lot of times you'll see a neck with a lot of redness or hyperpigmentation. For me, I have a condition in my neck that's very common where you get a real demarked white area of pigment loss right here. And then around the outer areas, you get the darker pigmentation. And so these products help with that as well. I love using the lifting complex on my neck because I have two concerns when it comes to my neck. I have the concern of loss of firmness and kind of that sagging of the pores and the texture of the skin. And then I have the concern of the hyperpigmentation on my neck. And lifting complex takes care of both, firms the neck as well as lightens and brightens that dark pigmentation so that by this time of year, when I've been doing a lot more exfoliation using this, you can barely see that demarcation line on my neck. It's just not as evident as it is in the summertime when I'm really starting to brown up from being outdoors so much. Okay, so I killed some time there. We have a few questions in here. Christina says, I came in late, but heard you mention a product that can be used as a spot treatment under retinol. Absolutely. And that is Natural Makeup Brightening Serum from Rhonda Allison. This is a spot treatment to treat dark pigmentation spots. And you can put it on, let it dry, and then put on your other retinol products, your other serums or moisturizers over the top. It's a product that you have to cycle on and off of. So you go on it for 3 or 4 months and then you take time off. Natural Makeup Brightening Serum is something that I use through the fall and winter. And then I taper off. By spring, I'm not usually needing it so much. And then in the summer, I'm just taking the summer off of it. And, in the summer, we just kind of go out and have a good time. Don't worry too much. Use our sunscreen, use lots of antioxidants. And then come fall is when we grab these big guns again, the Bellis perennis, the retinols, all that. We grab those big guns in the fall and the winter. And that's when we work on correcting the damage and the dark spots that we pick up in the fun summer months. Hello, Sophie and Tamara. Valentina, she says, I too scratched up my hands by wrapping Christmas lights around the tree trunk and branches along with cactus needles in my hands. Yes. Those cactus, I love cactus as well. And my husband kind of forbids me to buy any more cactus because I can get around them and just get a few bites or attacks from them here or there, but he just walks by a cactus and they just get him. He hates them. He's constantly getting pricked by them. But the roses and the branches, me too. I was wrapping my lights around the tree and just scratching myself up and beating myself up, but it's still fun. I love doing it. Jasmine, I had a lot of lines on my neck even when I was in my 20s. I like to sleep with my blanket tucked under my chin. Is that the culprit? I'm not sure. What I would say is be careful, Jasmine, too, that you have really good posture. So if I'm hunched forward and I'm going like this, I'm stretching all this out, or I got my cell phone, and it could be you do this, you read. I'm a big reader, so I've got my lines here. If you read, you do your cell phone, you're holding it in front of you, and you're like this, always looking down, you're going to create these lines. If you're reading in bed at night, that can really contribute to these lines. The best thing to be able to do is to hold things up high. When I'm reading with my Kindle, I'm holding it up high so I have this elegant long neck to try and protect myself from getting the deepening lines across this way. So anything where we're chronically bending forward like this is what's going to do it. And so if you do sleep all hunched forward that way, that could be a contributing factor. You might want to see if you can get used to one of those pillows that has an orthopedic edge. So it gives you that lift and kind of lifts the neck. And even if you're on your side, it gives you a lift right here so that you're not doing so much of this, and see if that helps. Definitely for that as well. Okay, let's see who we have next here. Always going the wrong direction. There we go. Norma says, you've helped me a lot. I combine products and videos you've posted. Thank you. Oh, you are so welcome. There's so many ways that you can customize what you do on your skin to really optimize the results that you get. And I love being able to bring you guys tips here. I do think that sometimes it might be overwhelming because I talk about so many different things that we have. There's a lot of variety and a lot of different ways that you can achieve goals with combining some different products. So if you get confused, reach out to us on live chat. We can help you there, or do a customized protocol and we can help you put things into order, prioritize things, and make sure that you're not being redundant and using the same type of product twice. Layering on two of the same product is not going to be so great. You want to really pick and choose well. Let's see. Christina says, I currently use Rhonda Allison A beta complex as my retinol in the evening. If I'm interested in adding Emapel serum to my routine, would it replace the beta complex or be used in addition? Okay, so Rhonda Allison Beta A, I love that stuff. It just gives you like such smooth, amazing skin, and it's used at nighttime. Emapel's serum is used during the day. So you use your Emapel serum during the day and then use your Beta A serum at nighttime and you'll be fine. Now, if you want to use Emapel's night cream, that would be used at nighttime and you would layer that over your Beta A. But you'll want to do that after some experience, after you've been on Beta A for quite a while and you know your skin's ready for a little next step or a little oomph. Then you could start layering it with the Emapel night cream. Or maybe you could do alternate nights between the Beta A and the Emapel night cream. I've been on my Emapel night cream for over a year now, and my skin was ready to have a little boost. So I've added in Rhonda Allison's Retinol Supreme, and I use that underneath my Emapel night cream every night, pretty much, maybe 4 or 5 nights a week. Then the other nights I'm just nourishing and moisturizing, feeding the skin. But I can layer that now, but it's been a year. When I first started on Emapel night cream, I could not have layered a retinol underneath it because my skin was just not ready for that yet. I was having enough change just using the Emapel night cream. I did not need to add extra retinol into the combination. So you kind of need to know where's your skin at and what does it need to have next. Sophie says, what did you say you could use for laxity in the neck area? So for sure, Nelly DeVos lifting complex. And then you want to get out an ultrasound device. If you have the MBK wave or you have the MBK curve, you can use that to use the ultrasound setting to massage that serum into the skin. The other thing that will really help with lifting and firming the neck is use the MBK curve on the RF setting. With the RF setting, you're going to want to use a hydrating gel. So what I do when I have out my curve, I put on, I was looking over there to see if we have one around here. We probably do, but first of all, I'm going to put the serum on, use CIV to massage it in. Then I'm going to put on Michelle Corley's Ultimate Hydration Gel over the top. And then I'm going to turn the curve onto the setting for RF. And I'm going to use the RF setting for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and massage that into the skin. And that is the most firming treatment. Now, you won't notice it firming exactly that day, but the next morning when you wake up, that's when you really see the difference with using the RF with it. But on a daily basis, RF could be used just twice a week. Ultrasound you can use daily. And this lifting complex can be used daily. The other thing for the neck is you want more than just a serum. You're also going to want to use an anti-aging cream for the neck. And that's when you want to grab Rhonda Allison's Bioreform 28. So you'll first put on your lifting complex and then put on the Bioreform 28 on top of it to seal in all that goodness. Bioreform 28 has 28 active ingredients in it to rejuvenate the skin. When I first started using it, I was in my 50s, probably about 50 when it first came out. And I was seeing some thinness on the chest area here. And Celine back then was in high school. And after I'd been using it for about a month or so, she came up to me one day and put her hand on my chest and said, "Mom, what are you doing for your chest? It looks so good." And so that Bioreform 28 really helps to re-densify that skin. So when the skin starts getting too thin and shrivelly, get those active ingredients from Bioreform 28 on there. It really does help re-densify and firm that skin. So I use Bioreform 28, the neck, the chest, breasts, arms, everywhere where I want to keep that skin nice and dense and plump and juicy. Okay, let's go. Where are we next? Valentina, what has more retinol, Beta A or Rhonda Ellison Retinol Supreme? They both have the same amount of retinol in them, but Beta A is made with salicylic acid, so it's more for that person who has either really usually oily skin, blemish-prone skin, larger pores, oily skin. It's just the oily skin person's retinol. Retinol Supreme has lactic acid, so it's more about the hydrating side. It's more for those people who have a normal to dry skin type, but both same strength. I think that with that added salicylic acid and beta A, it makes it seem like it might be stronger, but it's just that combination where lactic acid is a little more gentle, but they are the same strength. Jasmine, can my teenager use light stim or too early to start skincare? Your teenager can absolutely use the light stim. No problem at all. We have many teenagers that use the light stim for acne, the blue. But if your teenager has acne, they can even use the red one. The red one is very anti-inflammatory. So the red one is the light stim for wrinkles. They can use that on their face. You just don't, usually it's with younger kids, we really want to supervise them. We don't want them holding it over their eyes. So, holding it and moving it around the face, just making sure she knows how to use it. He or she knows how to use it properly is no problem at all. And it's not too early to start with good skincare. My granddaughter is 7, and I started teaching her to wash her face with the Nelly DeVos foam cleansers. Especially the one for kids. She loves that one. I started her washing her face and her whole body with that from a pretty young age and understanding how important it is to use a gentle cleanser, and also teaching her to use moisturizers. She has KP, so I'm teaching her how to use moisturizers on her skin. It's just never too young to be aware of how we take care of our skin. And of course, from a young age, with my daughters, teaching them, indoctrinating them from a young age to use their sunscreen. Super important. When my kids were younger, we used Rhonda Ellison's E-Zinc Protection Cream. It smells really good. It's very light. It has a little bit of a tint to it. They used it all over their whole bodies just as a moisturizer. I don't even think they were aware that it had an SPF value in it. It was just something that they loved, felt good, and I felt good having them using it, knowing that it had a nice natural zinc base in it. So never too young. All right. Let's see. Jasmine says she doesn't have acne this year. It has calmed down good, but she has eczema. Can she still use the red light stim? Yes, absolutely. It will be very helpful for her with her eczema to use that skin serum from Neogenesis, and barrier renewal from Neogenesis would be good for her. Dr. Este's dual barrier lotion, not the cream, but the lotion would be excellent for her. Really will help with her eczema. Love that stuff. In fact, I have a dual barrier cream. Let's talk about it. Just because all of you guys, probably everyone knows someone who needs this. I like to get the word out about it. This is the Dr. Este Dual Barrier Cream. This one is not acne safe. The lotion is acne safe, so your daughter, anyone can use the lotion. But I wanted to talk about the cream for those people who you may know, maybe it's you or maybe one of your loved ones. In the wintertime, their hands get so cracked and dry and chapped that they turn bright red. Maybe they even bleed around the joints. And when they try and put a lotion on, it burns or stings. Well, I have a remedy for them, and it's Dr. Este's Dual Barrier Cream. This cream does not sting or burn when it goes on, completely alleviates that chappedness, redness, irritation, bleeding will be all gone. So I have a couple people in my family that suffer with that, and I'm so happy to have found this dual barrier cream for them. So I just like to get the word out. If you know somebody, this is the perfect Christmas gift you can give them. Comes in two sizes. It comes in this big size and it also comes in a smaller size. So it's a perfect cream to give out. And this one, we've opened this just a few weeks ago at the office and it's half gone already. Everyone at Art of Skincare loves the stuff. Every time we walk by it, we put some of this on our hands because it really takes care of that chapped, dry skin. Now, a lot of times men, right? Men aren't used to using body lotions, and as they get older, they get really itchy, dry legs, or around their waist, it gets very dry. Dual barrier cream or dual barrier lotion, either one of those works very well for men as well. Just a lifesaver for them when they have dry skin or eczema. And Valentina says, are we getting any closer to the reveal of the Myolift Tri-Wave? We are. We will have 18 for sale the last week of December. And then in January, we'll get our big shipment of them in. So, right, keep watching. We'll send a notice out, but there will be just that 18 available that last week of December. Super excited. We've started filming some tutorials for it, so that you guys can hit the ground running when you get one. Super, super fun to use and seeing great results with it. Okay, that looks like we've hit all the questions for today. And oh, here's maybe one more. Let's see. Nope, I think we got everybody. Did we miss anyone, Ben?
Nope.
All right, we got everybody. So it's just a good length today. I like it when they're about 30 minutes because I feel like that's doable for you guys to sit down and listen to. When we go on and on for an hour, I always feel bad keeping you guys on here so long. I know it's good information, but that's a long time to sit watching YouTube. So I'm glad we're off in a half hour today. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.